Had to go get me some snack. What the hell? Why is this damn thing so blurry? Chicago motorists shoot 2 teens during a carjacking in Chicago suburb. Fucking ridiculous. Woo, I'm tired, you guys. I just ran down them stairs. Why is something's not right? My camera is literally so blurry. This is gonna be a great live, a good live. I forgot to tell you guys what happened at work today when some parents, mom and dad. So mom and dad, both parents were there, and they came in with their 3 children. They came in with their 3 children. One of the babies had to be about 9 months, 8, yeah, maybe 9, 10 months because he was crawling around and everything. The other baby had to be about 3 or 4, and the older kid had to been about 6 years old. So literally, I have to tell you guys, like, what happened. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to see. Okay, I guess I don't know. This does not. We gonna go with it. Forget it. All right, let me put my phone. Let me just put it back on the charger so that it could charge up. I had to go get me some desserts. So I'm about to open this. Open me up one of these little lemon parfaits, and then it's going on 8:00. Where is the queendom? Like, where the hell is everybody? I don't even know. Okay. I'm trying to clean my camera. I don't know why it's still so fuzzy looking. I don't know. From my eyes. Oh, this is so good. These are Temptations by Jello. This is the lemon meringue pie by Temptations. Very good. If you like lemon desserts or lemon meringue pie or anything like that, grab these. Grab them. They're really good. So I was trying to wait and see if some of my peeps was going to come in here, but I don't see them before I tell you guys what happened. But I guess they'll watch it on the replay. So I'm going to tell you what sparked my title. So today at work, I had a family come in, mom, dad, 3 children, 2 boys and a little girl. Like I said, I just gave the ages. I think the baby was 9 or 10 months. The little girl, she had to have been maybe 4 or 5, and the little boy, no, I don't even think she did. She had to be maybe 3 or 4, and the little boy had to have been like age 5 to 7, between 5 to 7. So the second they walk into the office, the first thing the first thing that I didn't like, that caught me off, but was the mom put the baby on the nasty floor to crawl around. Didn't like that one bit. People's walking all over on the ground. Residents had been walking their dogs, so you walking through the grass, maybe walking through feet, just all kind of germs and everything is all over this floor. And babies picks up stuff and they put stuff in their mouth, and you got your baby. This is not like you're at home or at a friend's house or whatever. You got your little baby crawling around on this nasty ass floor. That was the first thing. Second thing was they get in, they get through the door. The little girl, I had a candle lit, and to make the room smell really nice, so when they come in, had a nice little candle lit, scented candle. And the first thing and it's got wax, when it melts, so it's got a lot of wax, melted wax that's in the candle in the glass jar. The little girl darts straight over to the table where the candle is and picks it up. And I caught her just in time before she turned it. And I said, no, honey, you really don't want that hot wax to touch you. Both of the parents, the father says to the mother, what are you doing? Get her. I'm saying to myself, what the hell are you doing? Get your kid. So then I go over everything, with them about the place and everything. And then we're getting ready. I'm getting ready to tour them. We're doing a guided tour. A guided tour is when I take them to see the unit and I go over everything and I talk everything to them about it as they're looking around the place. A self-guided tour is when they go on their own. I just take their ID, give them the keys, and then they go over there themselves. So we're doing this guided tour. The second I open the door and we get in the house, these kids is running, jumping. Boom. See, my kids at that age knew, sit your ass down. You sit your ass down. You don't touch anything. And if the older children saw that the younger children were getting a little bit antsy, they knew automatically, take them out, go in the van, take them out to the van, and I'll be out there within 5 minutes. Let me finish my conversation or whatever it is that I needed to do, and then I'll go out there. When I tell you, these kids were running all over the place, jumping. Again, we're in this strange apartment that several people every day, hundreds and hundreds of people have been walking through this apartment. So it has not been clean. It has not been sanitized because it's a vacant unit. You make it look good enough because it's a vacant unit. Again, she sits the baby down on the floor. Immediately, the baby's crawling around, messing with stuff, picking with stuff. And I'm just sitting up here like, and the dad is talking to me, having conversations with me. Then he'll go over to this, and he'll say, so what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that this is a fit? And woo, woo, woo. And the whole time the kids are being reckless, like they're literally jumping down the stair. Da, da, da. And then so he said to me that their current place, that the community was not going to renew the lease. And he said, well, at first they decided to stay, and then they changed their mind at the last minute. The community said they wasn't going to renew their lease anymore. So when seeing these children, I said to myself, I kind of see why, because it was just no control. And then the first, after, we went back to the office again, the kids is running around like crazy. And let me tell you something, I'm a mother of 9. I'm a mom of 9. I understand. I get it. But my children were trained and they were controlled. And it's really what you put in, what you soak up. See, it's a change reaction. And when they say the apple don't fall too far from the tree, it does not. And you see why history repeats itself, because if let's go back to the grandmother. If your grandmother was a certain way, let's just say this grandmother was bitchy. So if your grandmother was a bitchy person and was always bitchy, then she had her daughter, and then her daughter picks that up because that's what's soaked into her. Okay? That because the grandmother spit that bitchiness into her. So she soaks it all in because that's all she's picking up. So then when she has her daughter, the same thing. She spits that bitchiness into her child, and then her child comes up to be bitchy. Then you wondering why this kid is always mean or angry or whatever the case may be. I even look back with I didn't have the perfect childhood growing up. I did not. But even through with everything that I went through and that I did, my mom did have a respect side of her, and she had a loving and caring side of her. And that's the part I picked up. I picked up the that sensitivity, I picked up the respect, and I picked up that loving and caring side. As I grew up and as I grew older, I knew I didn't like the yelling, the fight, the angry side of her, I should say. I didn't like the angry side of her. And I seen the same thing with friends and families and stuff. I remember when we all probably had that friend that when you go over to their parents' house, the mom is always mean, just so mean. And then you say, dang, that's why she's always, your friend, you be like, that's why she's always fighting and getting into situations, and because her mom is mean as fuck, you know? And so, and I'm seeing, and I'm just like, it was just no control. There was no control. They let the kids just run rapid and do whatever it was that they wanted to do. The little girl was literally trying to open up the door, the back door, or the side door, whichever door you want to call it, but it led into the swimming pool. So this little girl was trying to open up this door to go out to because she wanted to get in the pool. And I said, no, baby, you can't, you're not old enough to swim. You can't go out there in the pool. And she threw a tantrum, and she just was sitting there, and I'm sitting up here like, It makes you think. It makes you think why some children act the way it is that they act. When I see how I grew up and what I soaked in from my mother, and that carried on to my children and what they soaked in from me, it made them, they're respectful, they're generous, they have a great, awesome personality. They're not angry children. They're happy. Every time we go somewhere, someone say, Gina, your children are always so happy. They're always so happy because they had a happy mom that always smiled. And even through the worst moments ever, I always smiled and laughed to let them know that everything's going to be fine. It's going to be good. And that's what they soaked up. So when you got that mother, grandmother, that all it is hate and evil. And the same way with the fathers, hate, evilness, the kid soaks up everything because you spit. That's what you spit out as a parent. That's what you spit out as a parent. And whatever you spit out of you as a parent, that child is gonna soak it all up. So if all you spitting out all the time is negativity, angriness, disrespectfulness, that child is soaking all that up, just watching and soaking it up like a sponge, because their young brains is just forming and they soak it up like a sponge. And so everything that they see you, they be like, yeah, my mama did it. I'm going to do it too. And then you wondering why when they get 12, 13 years old, you can't control them. These children started off, because see, when they start, when they're young and you start off doing the right thing, when you start off doing the right thing, they're going to soak it in and they're going to start doing the right thing. Hey, Crafting, I'm glad somebody popped in here. You're the first one, Mama. It's a learning. When my kids was growing up and I had where they would start mess because they're noticing things. They're trying to figure things out, so they mess with it. I shared the story with you guys about Benjamin always would go turn the stove on, and we would smell gas every day, all day. Every day, all day, we would smell gas, and I'd be like, somebody cooking? And the kids be like, no, I think Benjamin turned the stove on again. And the more I told Benj to leave that stove alone, he wanted to play with it more. But one day, I was cooking dinner and I was trying to get the dinner, to get ready and get it together before the kids had gotten home, the older kids, before they had gotten home from school, because all the younger kids were already home. So before they had gotten home. And I went to go do something and came back, and Benj had turned the other eye on again, the gas on again. And I said, Benj, did you touch the stove? And he looks at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I said, didn't I tell you not to touch the stove? The stove is hot, Benj. The stove is hot. You will burn yourself. He wasn't, it just went in. He never heard hot. The more I would tell him it's hot, you will hurt yourself, you will burn. He didn't understand that. So you know what I did? I took his little fingers and I put it on the stove. Right? Well, you know how when you cooking and the edge and the side of the stove gets really, really hot and heated. Took it and he says, "Oh, hot, mommy." He says, "Hot, mommy." And after that day, he never touched the stove again. Never ever touched the stove again, because you have to train them, and sometimes you have to do something a little harsh for them to soak that in, to know that that's not good. That's not good. I ain't supposed to be touching a stove because the stove is dangerous and I can burn the whole house down. We would say that, Ben, you could burn the house down. Mommy's stuff, everybody's stuff would get all burnt. He was not comprehend. That was not soaking into him. That wasn't soaking into him. So what soaked into him, what he picked up was that I told him the stove was hot. I said, hot, Benj. And when I had him touch it, and he saw firsthand that it was hot, that soaked into him. And that made him understand that I ain't touching this goddamn stove no more. My oldest son, who's now 35 years old, he's 35 now. My oldest son, had a habit of always trying to stick shit in the sockets. You know, they see these little holes in the sockets, and I think we all had at least one kid that would always want to stick shit in the socket. So no matter how many times I would tell Trey, you're gonna get a shock of your little ass is gonna get shocked. I keep telling you, stop sticking stuff in there. I said, one day you go, and I would tap his hand because you know my mom was like, if she saw him doing something, she would tap that hand to tell them no, so they could soak that in and understand that if you use your hand and you sticking shit in there, you're gonna get tapped. That's what. And it wasn't clicking. It wasn't clicking. That if I keep sticking this in it, I'm gonna keep on doing. Oh, all I'm getting is a little tap on the hand. That wasn't working. But one day he got a jolt. He stuck a pin or something that was up in there, and he wound up getting a shock of his little life. And I said, "That's what your little ass get." I said, "Now," and he said, "Hot, mama." He said, "Hot, hot." I said, "Didn't I tell you you don't touch that? You don't touch it." And that put two and two together, and he realized that. So I had a system. Everywhere we would go, if the younger ones would act up, I would tell the older ones. If they don't act right within 5 minutes or whatever, if they don't act right, take them out to the van. I'm not gonna be more than 5 minutes, and I'm gonna be right behind you. And they had to, and then they knew they got it. They knew they was getting little butts was getting it when we got home. So these kids, oh, you guys, I must have spent a good hour with this family. And like I said, I'm a mom of 9. I get it. I understand. I know it's hard when you're a young mother and everything, but they were uncontrollably. They was uncontrollable. And then you see, I just had to reminisce, and I just had to woosah, and I got to thinking. I said, wow, these kids soak in whatever, and the parents, there was no, chastising. There was no obedience because they just let them run the whole house and do whatever. And they decided that they wanted to rent a townhouse or something like that and for a year, and eventually try again to buy a house the following year. And I said to myself, that's what they need. They need a house. I even talked to them about, I said, maybe you should rent a house. Because I got to thinking, even if they go and rent this townhome, and this townhome is right next door, and I don't know how thin or how much the neighbors heard when we were there just looking around, but they'll be getting calls on them every day. Because the kids did, I'm talking about they were, honey, I was there a good 20-30 minutes in that apartment with them, and it was driving me bonkers that these kids was wasn't ain't no furniture. It's the empty apartment. It's just stairs and stuff. You got the two older children jumping down the stairs, rolling down the stairs, and then you got the baby crawling all around on this nasty floor, playing with the door stops. You know the door stop. You know that the door stop. You keep go boing 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 boing. I don't know what it is about. Mine's used to do it, but the baby's like playing with it, and the parents just like they don't see and they don't hear, and it just makes me think about even on here how some of the parents are the way they are, and the reason why their children are the way they are, because what you spit out, that's what that kid is gonna soak in. And it's not always good. It's not always good. Crafting says, and when you have several kids, you really have to set your rules and stick to them. Because when they all want to be hard-headed, it's pure hell. That's true. You know, Gina, I raised my nephew and I had to tap that ass a few times. Boy, was he pissed at me. But he's now, and he thanks me for those. Yes. Even my kid, my daughters have said, "Mom, I see why you did the things that you do." You know, now that they older, they're like, "I see why you did the things that you do." And I said the reason why did I did the things that I do because I didn't. Let me tell you something. Crafting. I got the look the second I walked through the door. Okay, when that family came in with those three babies, I didn't give them the look because I wasn't expecting for their kids to be acting the way they act. But shit, I gave them the look during and after. I couldn't wait till they got the hell up out of there. But when I would walk through the door with all nine of these children, I would get there. I look like, oh shit. Oh shit. Restaurants, I'm telling you, Crafty. Restaurants, museums, movie theaters, everywhere we went, I would get that look. And that look was, oh shit, here come another one with all these damn kids. These kids gonna be bouncing off walls. And before I would leave, okay, the managers or whoever, supervisors or whatever, would always walk up to me and say, "You know what? Your children were the sweetest, most respectful as kids that ever came up into this business. You welcome back anytime. You welcome to come back because I had them trained. I had them controlled because I knew I didn't have time for my kids to be bouncing off walls and being disrespectful because I already had a strike against me. Okay. I already had one strike against me, and that was having too many. And when you have too many, they automatically think that you can't have them, that they're going to be uncontrollable. They automatically think that. And it would always be the mother that had one, two, or three. We would go out to eat. I never forget. We was in Denny's. We was in Denny's, and I had all. I think I had. I don't even think I had all nine. I think I had like we had about maybe six of them at the time, and we went to Denny's, and again we got that look, and the kids were, the older kids were helping the younger kids, and everybody's watching us, and they're seeing we sitting down as a family, and they're seeing how my older children are helping the younger children. And my son, this was Benjamin at the time, went up to the register because Benj was about that money. He'd be like, "Mom, can I pay the check? Can I do that?" He liked to take care of the bills. And I said, "Yeah, Benj, you can go up there and take care of the check." So Benjamin went to go take care of the check. The manager said, "Oh, is this your change?" My son Benjamin said, "No, that's not mine. It was there. It was left there when I walked up. Here's my check, and I'm paying my mommy's bill." The guy rung up Benjamin, gave Benjamin back the card, because we was like where I'm at now, and literally like the cash register was like right literally a few steps away. And he came over to the table and he said, "Your family, you all are welcome here anytime." He said, "And if you have an issue, and if anybody give you an issue, my name is such and such, such and such." He says, "You have a very respectful, very well-mannered son, honest." He says, "That right there shows me a lot about the parent." He said, "Because somebody else would have took that. If I would have said, 'That's your change you left,' they would have said, 'Oh yeah, I know, I got it.' And they would have walked out the door with it." He said, "Your son said, 'No, that's not mine.'" And I think it was like $23 and some change, 20 something, I think he told me, and some change. So it was, honey, you can put gas. That's gas. That's gas money. And my son did, he said, "No, that's not mine." He said that was there already, because that's how I taught them. That's how I taught them. And it's right. You How a child acts tells you a lot about the parent. It tells you, it shows you a lot, because they have picked that up from somewhere. Where that's why them they making them excuses for them two little white boys that sat there and had got them guns and everything and was threatening to go shoot up that school, and the mama get on there talking about he's 12 years old, he's because I think one of them was like 12 or 13 and the other one was like maybe 14 or 15 years old, and the mama get on fucking camera talking about he's just a bitch, he's a baby that got a hold to some guns that and was planning a whole massacre on other children. Where he get that from? So if he didn't get that from you, that you babying and you think that's your baby, he got that from daddy. He got that because the children always pick it up from. Let me tell you something. As growing up with everything that I went through, I knew what I did not want to be. I told you guys before several times before, I didn't want to be like my mom. I wanted to be a better mother than my mother. My sister, God rest her soul, picked up the traits of my father, who was an alcoholic, who died on his job because of drinking. How did my sister die? From an addiction, similar to my dad. Okay? Doing drugs. They were fighting. She was murdered. He, an alcoholic, drinking on the job, crates and stuff fell down on him, and he died. It's what you see and what you soak in. I remember, and I'm pretty sure my sister remember too, when back in the day when we grew up. See, back in the day in New York and in Chicago, we had these milk crates, and in the summertime, everybody would sit on the milk crate. You was at the corner, you was in front of your house, you might have been outside the liquor store or whatever, but you and your buddies or whatever, y'all got the milk crates, and you sat down on the milk crates. And I'll never forget that my dad and his friends, who were all alcoholics, and they would sit outside on them milk crates, crafting, sit on them milk crates. And my dad, honey, do you know about that 2020, don't you? You know about that Mad Dog 2020? Huh? Y'all know that red Royal Irish Rose? Nobody drunk that shit but alcoholics. Okay. If your parents, ask your grandma. Okay, ex-mama, ex-great-grandma about that Mad Dog 2020, that Wild Irish. That's what you could smell it for days. Okay, my dad was drinking that shit every day. You know the reason why the alcoholics like to drink it? Because it was cheap. It was strong and it was cheap. And my dad would he always have a bottle in that little brown paper bag. And when we would come, he would put it behind the crate. Like we didn't see it. We would still see it. And he would give us money to go to the candy lady, and we'll go to the candy lady and act like we didn't see it. But I know if I saw it, I know my sister saw it. And my sister always had a habit. My mother used to have to spank her ass every day crafting. You know how you got them kids that just love to drink out of everybody's cups? They don't give a damn who cups it is, but they'll go and drink out of my sister. That was her. She would go and drink. So she got the taste of alcohol at a young age. She would go and she would drink. My dad leave his cup around, or a friend, my grandfather, we go to my grandparents' house, and if they had alcohol and somebody left some, I don't give a damn what it was. If it was alcohol, water, pop, juice, whatever, if you left it in the cup, my sister was drinking it. She was going to drink it. She wanted to know what, and sometimes my mama would be like, "Where my baby at?" And her little ass would be somewhere laid out, because she was drunk from drinking out of everybody's goddamn cups. This is why you have to watch children. And she got away with us. I told you, my mom was hearing impaired. My mom was deaf. So if my mother could not see you, if she didn't see you, she couldn't hear what you were doing. Like those of us that have, because I remember every time my young kid one of my youngins would do something, I could hear him. What the hell they doing up in there? And I'm running in the kitchen, or one of the other kids, right? Because I can hear them. And I could say, my mom could not, hear that. So she got in a lot of stuff. I would have to go and get her. And so she got a taste of that at a young age. And then as she got older, she started smoking. I remember we would catch her because my father was a smoker. He smoked cigarettes and shit. And I remember I said, "Mom, Dee Dee is picking out them cigarette butts again." This girl will pick up cigarette. She will pick up cigarette, just doing child shit. But she was soaking in. I'm telling you, she was what my dad spit out, what Poppy spit out. My sister was soaking it in. So she saw Daddy smoking, and so she would pick up the cigarette butts, and she wanted to smoke too. She saw Daddy drinking. He drink it out. She want to pick up. She want to have a little of it too. And then it gradually went into something else. And then she graduated into drugs, into the hard drugs, and then that was just that. But I'm telling you, you have to watch what your children do, and you have to watch what you spit out, because they right there to soak it all up, and that will change their lives. That will change their lives. I sit back. I sit back and I watch how my son raises his children. And when I see him tell his girls, "I love y'all. I love you." And they say, "I love you" back. I'm like, I did that shit. That's what I spit out is what he soaked up. And now he's spitting that out into his children. And they're soaking that up. Now today, every time they say it to me, I call that, "I love you, Nana," just as naturally as washing your face and brushing your teeth. Because that's how I raised their dad. And that's how their dad is raising them. It's the kids that don't hear that don't see that, because they would spit out some garbage. They would spit out something else. They had a family that spit out evilness, that spit. I had a friend. We go to her every time I went over there to her. I stayed a hot 5 minutes because it was always negativity. Her mom would say, "Your ass coming up in here late, ain't you? Get your ass up in there and clean up that room, and then you bring it. Where this little girl come from?" It was never nothing. It was never, "How was your day?" It was never that. My mother never asked how was my day either. But if I would just tell her, "Mom, we did a test. I got an A on my test, or I got a B on my test," or what. She said, "Okay, make sure you bring home another A." But she would say, "Let me see it." Okay, so she showed a bit of interest in it. I'll take that. And that's what I took. I took every strength of love that my mom gave out, and I soaked it up. I soaked it up. But I knew growing up, I wanted to be totally different. I didn't hear "I love you" every day. I'll be damn, my children was going to hear it every day. And they hear it every day. I wasn't asked every day how my day was. My kids every day. They didn't even go to school today. And I came home and I said to them, "So what y'all do today? How was y'all day?" And they say to me, and then they'll say to me, "Ma, you ain't even asked me how my day was." Them days you get tired. Sometimes we just get tired and we forget. And they'll say, "Ma, you ain't asked me how my day." And I'll be like, "Oh, damn it. I forgot. I'm just so tired." But they remind you because they soak it up. So when you get on here and you see a little girl that's cussing her mama out, checking her mama, asking her mama grown up ass questions, that's because that's what her mama put out. And that's what she soaked up. We got to be careful. I knew you was going to say that. She drinked out of people's cup. My cousin is crazy till this day from drinking out of people's cup. Yeah, Crafty, because back in the day, That was the thing. You know how back in the day when we were growing up, there was a lot of house. It's not like that now. It was back in the day when we were growing up, it was a lot of house parties. So everybody had, and not only was it house parties toward the end of the month, the middle to the end, I'm telling you, from the 20th or maybe the 18th through the end of the month, everybody and their mama was having rent parties. I'm 52 years old. I remember that. Everybody was, when you got low in the middle of the month, you didn't have no food. You didn't have the rest of that rent money. You threw rent parties. So everybody that you know, or some, they may even have a get together, back in the day. Because the kids didn't have games and shit. We chilled outside. If it was a nice hot day, warm day, we chilled outside. You turned on the fire hydrants and you did all kind of shit. So if you got some little busybody ass kid and you know your child is a busybody and you didn't clean that shit up right away. My mother used to argue at my dad so much because he would always leave a cup, or his friends will leave a cup, or they'll have a bottle that still got a little something up in it. And that was one of the reasons why my mom left my dad and divorced him, because he was an alcoholic, could not stop drinking. Yeah, we know how that story goes. Would not stop drinking, and he did stupid shit. And when she started seeing her baby, when she started seeing her baby passed out in the hallway or something, she'd be like, what the hell? What did y'all do? We like, shh. And then my mother was, because she couldn't hear. So when you can't hear, all your, just like if you're blind, all your other senses are stronger. My mother could smell a drinker and a smoker a mile away. Honey, you could be a mile away. My mother always said, yeah, that person right there been drinking. That person over there been smoking. That person been drinking and smoking. And she could tell you what kind of menthol. She could tell you if it was Cools. She could tell you if they asses was drinking Wild Irish Rose or some whiskey or whatever it was back in the day. She would be able to tell you, because her senses and she was fed up. She was like, you ain't gonna mess around and get my baby alcohol poisoning or this, because you can't clean up your shit afterwards. And so if you lived in an apartment building, if you lived in a place, that we lived in an area in the south suburbs that was called the Village. It was called the Village. And everybody knew everybody from the Village. And it was a lot of, it was low income, middle to low income families that lived in the Village. It was townhomes on one side, and on the other side, it was apartments, studios, 1 and 2 bedrooms. That was it. If you were lucky enough to stay in the townhomes, then you had a 3-bedroom. So we were lucky that we stayed in the townhome. We had a 3-bedroom. I had my own room, and my 2 sisters had to share rooms. And that middle one, my mom used to always say, just like our dad, because she would get into everything. And she had an addiction, just like him. And like I say again, it is what you spit out is what they will soak in. And when you think they don't see it, smell it, taste it, and they don't know it, they already know. They already know. My sister she would watch any and everything that he did. She knew where he hid his liquor. She knew where he hid his squares, his weed. She knew everything. She was out. We would be sitting there, you shouldn't be doing that. Don't be, I'm gonna tell mom you ain't supposed to be doing, you're gonna get in trouble. I don't care. Y'all talk too much anyway. And she'll leave. She'll leave. And so it's the truth. What you spit out and what you input in your child, it sets a stage. It sets a stage. That's why when I'm on live, my kid, they ask, Mom, you on live? And I'll say, yeah. And if I'm on live, they'll say, tell everybody hi. And you will see Ferran do this. He'll stick his hand over here or something. And he's speaking to everybody. You've never ever, none of you've never ever heard my children say, that ain't that lady on there that you was arguing with. Because they don't know nothing about that. because I don't talk to them about bullshit like that. So they respect everybody because that's how I am. When I go to work, y'all heard me fussing and bitching about my bosses and managers and supervisors and shit that I work with, but I still treat them with respect. I go to work, I smile and everything and do. And when I went to work today, I told you I had to work at a different community today. The woman, they didn't even leave the keys out for me. I contacted the manager to say, I don't have any keys. How am I going to show the unit? And I don't have any, she said, oh, I don't know what such and such did. She should have left the keys out for you. I'm not there. Is that what you say as a manager? As a supervisor? Is that what you, or do you say, you know what? Call maintenance or let's figure out something so you can do your job. Not, honey, I could show y'all the text. Right? She texted me back and said, well, I don't know what she did or didn't do because I'm not there. Bitch, I know you not here. I know you not here. So it goes again, how this is what she put out. See, I could have soaked that in. And I could have been real ignorant. But I said, okay. She said, I don't know. Go check the back. They might be. I said, okay, I'm going to go back there and I'll check and I'll let you know. And I made it work. And I said, oh, okay, I got it. It's good. And I said to her, I said, just FYI, I just, wanted to make sure I had everything that was needed. And she says, oh, okay. You see what people do? You see how they act? Same, that's how it is at your job. That's how it is at the children's schools. What the teachers spit out, it makes a big difference in what that child soaks in. That's why I've always told my children, your teachers get to acting a fucking fool up there. You ain't got to act a fool. Call mama. Call mama. Pick up, get your cell phone and call me. I'll be up there in 2.2 seconds. And they would always say, did your kid call you? I said, don't worry about that. What's the issue? Because I know there's an issue going on. So don't worry about if they called me or not. We beyond that. We beyond that. Let's handle the issue at hand. Think about that. This is something for everybody to think about. Whether you have children, whether you don't have children, even if you're a single adult and you're working, you soak in everything that your manager, your supervisor spits out. And it affects you in one way or another. And then depending on how it affects you, that's how you carry it on to other people. Did y'all see the video of the father whose son was working? I think he was working at Popeyes or McDonald's or somewhere. And they was calling him little black boy. They wouldn't call him by his name. Now, I know these kids, when they working in these restaurants and stuff, they have name tags and shit. But instead of them calling him by his or son or daughter, or something like that, they was calling him little black boy. And his dad went up there and she said, and the manager took it. Well, I didn't know. I found out today. And you saw that? Yeah, she said, I didn't know. And the woman is in the back that it happened to. She in the back. And he said, well, why don't you, as the manager, go make her apologize? She said, well, she don't want to apologize. She said she ain't going to do it. And I can't make her. Well, what you can do as a manager, what you can is fire the bitch in the back. That's what you can do. She's sitting up here saying if he decides to say, because the dad was like, oh no, hell no, he ain't staying. You think I'm gonna let my son stay and y'all calling him little black boy? He was like, hell no, he ain't staying. But what she should have done as a manager, is fired the bitch in the back and let the boy work and apologize to the father and apologize to the child. That didn't make no sense to me. She tried to act like she doesn't understand that. But yeah, it pissed me the fuck off because she said, yeah, she's in the back. He said, yeah, tell her to come on out. Tell her she should be apologizing to me. And he said, and she said, well, she said she ain't gonna do it. She don't want to apologize. And now come on now. If that had been, let's just say, let's flip it. Because the manager, she was Mexican, Hispanic, or something. And let's flip the script. If that little black boy had said, "Look, Mexican girl," that Mexican girl, everything she do, y'all working with him every day. And if if he had said, "Little Mexican girl," or "white girl," or "white bread," he would have been fired, Johnny, on the fucking spot. Johnny on the spot. And the little boy didn't even get disrespectful, nothing. You know what he did? Because this is what he soaked. This is how he learned. You see what I'm saying? This is what his father spit out. And what he soaked in, he was respectful and went and told his parents. He didn't, because let me tell you something. If it had been one of my girls, my daughter would say all the time, Cece would say, she would curse teachers out. I would get calls every day because I said, Cece, why was you being disrespectful to your teacher? And she'll say, Mom, that's not my mother, and she not gonna be talking to me like she mama. That's a teacher, and she should be talking to me like a teacher. I said, you got a point. And it was nothing that I could say because she had a point. And every time we would go over there, I had a little tape recorder that was like this. Might have been a little smaller. And every time I would go up to the school, I would sit that tape recorder. I said, because y'all got shit fucked up around here. So we gonna record stuff. So when some shit come, and they would get nervous, they would get scared because they didn't know. I wanted them to know because that could be I could have that recorded in my daughter's pocket. Okay, she can have it in her purse, wherever. But we gonna be recording you motherfuckers. And I can't use it in a court of law, but I told them motherfuckers social media don't give no flying fucks. And once it get out there and it goes viral, that's just what the fuck it is. That's just what it is. So, and like I said, it goes back again of what you put out and what that kid brings back. When he asked the black guy to go in and work for him, he should have stopped and walked out with them. Yep. My daughter says she fight old ladies down to the babies. Look, me too. 8 to 80, infant to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. It does not matter. You disrespect me and mine. I told you. Age ain't got no number because you know why? Because the person that's coming for you and yours, they not thinking about age. They not thinking about, the effect or the after effects that it would have on your child. See, Cece ain't weak. She ain't weak by long. So somebody could say something, talk about, she don't give no two flying fucks to the wind. She don't care. She could take, because she's not a weak person. But my older daughter, she I don't want to say she's weak, but she's timid. And she'll soak that shit. What you throw out there, she'll soak it in. And she one of those, why me? I didn't do nothing. Why they messing with me? And then she's that type of, Cece is the type of bitch, I don't give a fuck what's up. What's up? What you want to do? And so it has an effect. That's why people have to be. I let all my children, all 9 of them, know I love them. I love you all the same. Just like when my 2 daughters got into a fight, and honey, they was in a fist fight, fighting their ass off. When they got into that fight and was acting the fucking fool, I put both of them bitches out. Yep, you heard me say it. I put both of them out because my only priority at that time was to make sure Angel was good, not 2 grown-ass women out here fighting and acting like they got a damn problem. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. That's not what we're gonna do. And I taught them better than that. So you ain't finna put that on my daughter so she could soak that up. And then she get mad and realize my sisters and them was fighting. So shoot, let me fight them too. And to get my point across. That's not what you do. Mom, what about when a girl hits your son? How do you feel if he took enough and slapped the shit out of her? I said, keep your damn hands to yourself. Shit, he has feelings too. I'm gonna tell you that because Crafton, I have 5 sons. 5 sons. And let me tell you a situation. I'm gonna tell you a situation about. Hold on one second. Let me turn this heater off. So I have 5 sons and I have 4 daughters. And I've always told my sons, look, if a girl put her hands on you, if she coming for you, whatever, first give them a warning. And I tell my daughters this. Y'all probably heard me say this before, where I always tell, I just told this to Angel not too long ago, walk away from the fight. Try to avoid it. Walk away. I tell my sons the same thing. Walk away. If the girl, because you know, these girls think they so bad that they can fight boys and shit. You can't never beat their ass no matter what. And I would tell them, walk away. I used to tell my son, every time I told he got scratches on the side of his face, down his. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, Mom, that's because I was holding her. I was trying, she was scratching me up. She was kicking, fighting, biting me. And I'm trying to avoid from hitting her because I don't want to go to jail and stuff. So I would say to him, so every time I turn around and it happened, and I said, wait a minute, enough is enough. We got around to the 5th time. And I said, the next time, lay that bitch out. That's just what I said. Now, some people gonna think it's not wrong. No, if you're female and you think that it's okay for you to jump up in some man's face and you do it, because they do it even more when he won't hit you. You see what I'm saying? Because my son was one of those, he would never, because I didn't train him like that. I said, you don't never hit no woman. Ever. But if you gonna think, you're not gonna be sitting up there scratching up. My son got scratches and bruises, and you think that you gonna just keep kicking his ass and then he ain't gonna do no. After the 3rd, 4th, 5th time, I said, no, fuck her up. She hit you again, fuck her up. I'll be there with bail money to get her out. And my daughters used to be like, no, call me. We'll go get, because my daughters would go look for them bitches. Anytime it was an issue, when my other son's girlfriend was acting crazy, Kayla was looking for that bitch every single day. And I said, no. I said, these boys got to handle their own shit, because y'all ain't gonna always be around. And if y'all ain't, let me tell you something, Crafton. One of my very good friends, okay? One of my very good friends, she had 3 children. She had a daughter, who her daughter grew up with my CC, so they're around the same age. She had 2 sons. Both of the sons, you hear me? Both of the sons died at the hands of their girlfriends. Both the boys, young men, were stabbed to death by their girlfriends. Months apart. The first son, girlfriend and them fighting, they was domestic all the time, and she would get mad again, scratch him up, do all kind of shit to him, and he didn't want to fight her. And the mom, and she used to tell me, she said, Gene, I don't want my son in jail, so I told him just leave her. I said, but you got to think, if she making threats to stab him and she cutting him and she sliced him, something's gonna seriously happen. And her son was murdered. The girl is probably still in jail right now. They were young. We talking about in their 20s. They were young, honey. We ain't talking about no 30, 40. We talking about 18, not no more than 25. Okay. Then a few months later, same thing with the other son. Girlfriend beating his ass. He didn't want to fight her back. Didn't learn shit from the brother, when the brother back. And the mom still said, I don't want my son in jail. I don't want him hitting. I said, I understand. I said, but for Mans, I'm telling Mans, look, Crafton, my oldest son just left a brutal relationship, and the girl kept making threats, said she would kill my son in his sleep. Every time, bitch, I will end you. Do you understand me? There is no place that you can. We're gonna be. Look. It ain't gonna be one funeral. It's gonna be 2. I told my son, it's time for you to get the fuck up out of there, because they can't keep being assaulted and keep going through this stuff, and then they can't defend themselves. It's not fair. It's not right. So for me, and I don't I don't condone because I'm a victim of abuse. You know, I'm a victim of abuse. Honey, I was beat the hell morning, noon, and night, by my kid's dad, one of their dads. And so I don't condone none of that. But if you got a female that thinks she could stand up to a man and then she's gonna jump on him, scratch him, bite him, do all this shit to him just because she knows he won't beat her ass. Oh no, fuck that. Fuck that. I told my son, you better light that bitch up. And I will be there with bail money. And you got with, and I would every single time. And I even tell him every single time he get a scratch or bruise, take pictures. Cause see, that's what's gonna save you when you with a crazy ass bitch like that. Cause women got fucking issues too. They always think it's a man abusing the woman, but y'all don't know it's a lot of these sick bitches out here they quick to jump up in the man's face, especially if they know that he ain't gonna do shit. They want to call them punks, and no, he ain't a punk, bitch. He just was raised right. He was raised right, and he don't want to abuse your motherfucking ass. But I told Mans after the look 3 strike. I told her, I don't play baseball. I don't do baseball. I don't like baseball. I ain't with fucking baseball. My son didn't play sports. He didn't like it. So, bitch, after the second time, you get knocked the fuck out. And that's what I told Angel, and I told my other children. I said, you try to avoid it the first time, okay? The second time, you look back to make sure bitches ain't following you or not. If the bitch is following you, you tell the motherfucker to back up off you 5 feet. Give me 5 motherfucking feet, bitch. Back up off me. And if that doesn't happen, you take their motherfucking ass down with everything you got. And I tell my sons the same thing. If you go tell a bitch and you arguing with your girlfriend or whatever, and you tell her, I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to cool off. And then she follows you, and you turn around and you tell her, look, don't follow me. I'm just going to get some fresh air and this and that. And then next thing you know, the bitch is on your neck. No, you better drop kick that bitch. You better drop kick. And I don't give a fuck about what her mama gotta say, what her daddy gotta say, or anything. Because just like that dude that's beating the shit out of y'all, they always saying, well, his mama should have taught him better. Well, you should have taught your little bitch better. Because I teach mans, don't jump up in no man face because you can't beat no man. Now, you can shoot his motherfucking ass if he do something to you. You got brothers that you can have handle that. But don't be sitting up there trying to just jump up in their face and trying to just do shit because you think you can. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, I ain't playing. You hit mans. Shit, bitch. I'ma tell my son to fuck your motherfucking ass up, and then you better hope his mama and his sisters don't come after you. I'm like that lady on the school bus. That woman on the school bus, she went up there to that goddamn bus stop and told them little kids, I will beat your motherfucking ass. She told them motherfuckers, we will jump out on your motherfucking ass like the feds. She said, I'm about that motherfucking life. And guess what? And I was with her 100%. Take up for your, if them little motherfuckers is coming after you and yours, and they big enough to go and jump, then they big enough to get their motherfucking ass kicked. And I'm with her. Bring your mama, bring your daddy, bring your grandparents. I don't give a fuck. You better bring a whole lot of motherfucking people. Cause I'ma tear your motherfucking ass up if you touch one of mine. And that's why I told Angel, if you didn't try to avoid the fight, the school police said Angel tried to avoid the fight. Teachers say Angel tried to avoid the fight. Children, other kids said Angel tried to avoid, and this bitch still coming after. No, Angel, you better tear that bitch up. You better fuck that hoe up and let everybody know you mean business. And Angel tagged that ass. And then she looking stupid because the video going around that Angel whooped her ass. And now, bitch, now you want to try to do some other shit. Now you want to try to get your other friend. You need your other friends involved and everybody else because you just got your ass whooped. No, go sit the fuck down some goddamn where. Go sit down some goddamn where. Again, they get that from somebody. From somewhere, somebody spitting that shit out and they soaking it in. My kids man their own fucking business. You know why they man their own fucking business? Because I man my business. I man my business. I ain't trying to be in nobody's shit. I don't give a fuck. I go to work every day. I handle my own shit. I ain't in nobody. I don't know nothing about that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But that's what they do. Andrew, tag that ass in the beginning of the school year. Respect is in. Yes, look, Crafton, she wasn't there not even a week. School had not even been in a full week before Angel was fighting up at the school already. Angel was fighting a full week. It hadn't even kicked in. It hadn't even kicked in yet. And I'm sitting up there like, that's crazy. I said, Angel, I said, how the fuck that happened? And your brothers was there a whole year. They sophomores now, and they got through a whole school year with no fighting, no nothing. No nothing. Hey, Sasha. Sorry, oh, babe, you ain't late. You just in time. You on time. You can always go back and watch the repeat of it. But I'm just, I just had to get on here because I had to talk about, the kids that came in. These kids was running amok. And I kept saying, dang, if they doing this now at this young age, if their parents don't get some control, because you have to have some control. And if you don't get any control on those children, they gonna be freaking, they gonna be crazy later. They gonna be crazy. And I'm just like, I couldn't do nothing but shake my head and try to hurry up and get them the hell up out of there. Because the kids was touching and messing with every fucking thing. Like, these was the kind of kids you couldn't have nicknames. Let me tell you something. I had white furniture in my apartment. All white. I'm talking about white as my teeth. So white, beautiful furniture that I had. And people would say, they would come over to our house and they would say, dang, you got white furniture? Girl, with all these kids? I say, honey, they know not to be in my living room. They knew. Now they would walk through it. Sydney would try to chill in the living room sometimes before I got home from work, but they knew when I got in, they better hurry up and get their ass up out of there, and it better be cleaned up, spotless. And we had that white furniture before I got rid of it. I think I had it for about 3 or 4 years. 3-4 years before I got rid of it. And my they didn't mess it up. They didn't eat on it. They didn't drink on it. Even when their friends would come over, they would tell their friends, "No, come on, we finna go in the kitchen, or we gonna go in the back, or we gonna go in the basement, or we gonna go." They knew to go any place else but my living room. Again, it's how you train. It's what you put out, and it's what they soak in. Put out mess and garbage, them kids gonna soak in mess and garbage. And that's why people got to get it together. If they get the apartment, what are they to do to it? Just, oh, girl, honey, you don't Crafton. You don't think I was thinking about that? And I knew from experience, I knew the reason why, that because he had already said, I make the money. He said, me and my wife, we make the money. And he was like, we don't have any evictions, or we don't have any, we got good credit and all that stuff and everything. They just got some bad fucking ass kids. And I knew the reason why, that when an apartment complex say they ain't renewing you and you pay your bills on time, that means it's either you personally or it's your children. And I knew just from that one experience, it was them damn kids. I knew it. Wine is my friend tonight. Wine is your friend tonight, Sasha. Ooh, girl, give me a glass. Give me a glass of it. Give me some wine. I'm sitting here eating my lemon meringue. This is from Temptations Jello. It's so good. It's really good. Y'all know I like my desserts and stuff. But yeah, that had me thinking the whole while after they left. The whole while after they left, I was just like, they gonna be issues. They gonna be problems. It's gonna be issues because of their children. They need to buy not yes. And he said it. He said, we just looking for some place for to stay for another year because the market is so congested right now. And he said that they wanted to rent. Now, my suggestion to him was, how about y'all just rent a house? And then you know what he gonna say to me? He said to me, well, I really didn't want to rent a house because you don't know who been in it and this. I said, baby, let me tell you something. I said, let me tell you. I had to tell him something, Crafton. I had to bring him back down to reality. I had to tell him something to make him think. I said, let me tell you something. I've been in this business for a long time. When you rent that house from that private, excuse me, from that private landlord, 9 times out of 10, the owner himself lived in the house for a long period of time, or he had a past tenant that lived in it a long period of time. I said, but baby, when you get that apartment, those apartments, you don't know who been living in them and what went down. I told him I went to an apartment, Crafted. I was working at an apartment community, right? I had to go do walkthroughs. Walkthroughs is when you get a few keys and you go and check the units before they rent out so that you can give a report to maintenance so maintenance know, if they got to fix a door, if they got to clean the carpet, you just give them a list, right? So I goes to these apartments. One of the apartment was nice and clean. But when I got in the dining room area from the kitchen, I could not understand why all these dead flies was in it. When I tell you, Crafted, I am not lying. I am not over. Because sometimes we over exaggerate. I am not over exaggerate. It had to be literally 100 flies. Okay, they were all on the windowsill. They was all on the floor. They was all by the back door, the side door. But it was just that area. The kitchen, the bedroom, the rest of the apartment was immaculate. But it was just that area. So I go back, I take pictures because I always take pictures so I could show the manager and I could show the maintenance supervisor. I go back. Guess what they tell me? Somebody had died in that apartment. I'm like, what? They said, yeah, this man had died in an apartment and he had been in there for a few days. I was like, wow. So I'm telling them, I told them this story. I said, so when you go and rent that apartment and you see that apartment all fresh, you don't know how many people been in that apartment and what they did. You have a better chance with a house. That's why I never liked apartments for when my children was growing up. As my children was growing up and my mom was the same way. We didn't live in no apartments. You know, as we, my mother, if she could avoid getting an apartment, I think after when we were younger, we stayed in an apartment, the apartment building the landlord burnt the apartment building down for the insurance money. We never stayed in an apartment after that. I knew after my second, I knew it was no more apartments. It was no more apartments after that because after my two older ones, then it was CC, and CC liked to run. She never sat down. She always wanted to run through, and she always had to have shut. She called them click clack shoes because she liked that CC would walk around like the Mexicans. The Mexicans with them cute little ruffled dresses and stuff on, and they had them little click clack shoes on. That was my daughter. She every day she wanted to have them damn click clack shoe, and no matter how much I tell Cindy, sit your ass down, and I was spanking everything. She was running through the goddamn house and I didn't want nobody calling me, fucking bugging me, or telling me, "Can you make your kids sit down?" Because I understood. I understood. And so I'm telling them, maybe it probably would be better if you rent if you rented a house, and even better if you rent it from a private landlord, because I told him that way you don't have to go through all the steps that you would have to go through when renting an apartment. Like from us, you rent from us, you got to pay credit check. Anybody 18 and older, you got to pay credit check. Then you got to pay another $250 for the admin fee to take it off the market. Then you got to come back and you got to pay move-in cost and first month's rent and all this. Well, when you rent a house, is if you're renting, especially from a private landlord and not, like a company or agency, they're gonna do the credit and background check. They probably charge you 30 or $40. It's usually no more than 50. And then they tell you, okay, I want first month's rent and security deposit. And if you don't move in on the first, the rent's gonna get prorated. So, and it's that simple. And once your credit check come back that it is good, then you good to go. So I was telling him that I think maybe they should, you should do. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about everything you said. But the first thing came out his mouth was, well, a house, because you don't know who been in. Why the fuck do y'all? I wanted to say, why you care about that? Because you am I? I'm not. Look, I'm looking at me. I'm not buffering. Maybe it's on your end, Crafting. Go out and come back in. Sasha, am I about? Because look, I'm not buffering on here. So maybe it's on your end. What do you think of this girl that was killed? You talking about the one that's all that her boyfriend killed her? Oh, Gabby put, yeah. That the boy. Well, you know what? That is horrible. That's a horrible, tough situation. What I got a problem with is even more so is that, which a lot of other people had been talking about, was how her stuff went nationwide. And I think we still had two or three of ours that went missing. And actually they just found the Illinois State College student, found him in the Chicago River over here, and he didn't get full coverage. None of these people got she got coverage all across the world. They doing a man search all across the nation. Ain't nowhere that girl that he could go that they're not letting them know what the situation that happened. And they did not do this for these other young people that are still missing, because it's two that's still missing. And they just found that one recovered and they didn't get the same. That's my issue. Now I feel for the parent. No, let me tell you something. No parent should have to bury their children. None. No parent. Like, I if I could live to see all my children to have kids, I want to see them. I want to be there and everything. But your children's supposed to bury you. Like, I want my kids to bury me. I want them to all be there. No, but we shouldn't be burying our children. You understand what I'm saying? It just shouldn't. So that is, and it's horrible to even find out as a mother that the boyfriend took her life, just like my friend. I told you, my friend lost both of her sons to girlfriends that took their life. They didn't go out and get hit by a car. They wasn't thugs. They didn't go out and get, and she was the manager of KFC. Like, she had a bunch of different, I think she had about 3-4 of her own KFC stores, and her sons even worked in her stores as well. These boys wasn't no thugs. They wasn't out there. They wasn't the type to be beating on their girlfriends or none of that. But both of them got their lives snatched away from a girlfriend. So it's horrible, and I really feel horrible, for the parents of that young lady. And I hope they find him. I told my family and everybody, I think he gonna commit suicide. I think they gonna find a body. I don't think that they gonna find him alive somewhere. I think that they gonna find a body. And if they do find him alive, so be it. He needs to rot under the jail. Because that's just horrible. It's horrible. Then he went and they said he went and spent $1,000 of her money. Then why she ain't people is something else. She ain't even cold yet in the ground yet, and he was already spending her money. And what's I hope his parents, they motherfucking asses need to be locked up because they helped him leave. I don't care what nobody say. How that shit went, because the real parents look. I'm a mother of 9. You said, "Oh, honey, he is dead." They said it. Sasha, did they say it? Because I said I had been saying it all along. I said when they find him, they gonna find him dead. I said they gonna find him dead. Ain't ain't no way, ain't no way if ands or buts about it. But his parents, they asses need to go to jail because they was helping. And you said no just to feel. Oh yeah, I feel that too. And I told I told my sons and my daughters, you're my child. I love you dearly. I will come and visit you. I will write for you, but I ain't helping you do. Look, if it ain't self-defense, if you did some shit intentionally on purpose, some fuck shit, I'm not help hiding you. I'm not doing no. I'm gonna help the police find your motherfucking ass and take you there, and then we gonna work out and do what it is that we got to do. But no, I'm not co-signing for no bullshit. And this is what pisses me off about these white folks, okay, is that they always co-signing for the fuck shit that they problem child did for issues, years of issues that parent put on that kid. Just like those little rodent ass motherfucking rats that was gonna go and shoot up that goddamn school. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I have no sympathy for these kids. I have no sympathy for these 2 little boys. And that mama got on camera and said, he's just 12 years old. He's just a baby. Bitch, your baby was finna shoot up a whole fucking school. And you in the courtroom talking about he just a fucking baby? No. 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 That's too much. Well, speaking of people missing, what is the latest on Kelly Price? Where is she? Did they find? I don't know. I was still looking, and the sister say she thinks the boyfriend and the lawyer knows more than they're telling, and they covering some shit up. But they saying that the sister said, I'm telling you. She said, until I see she said, because me and my sister is all we got. I feel her. She said, until I see her, lay hands on her and see her with my own eyes, she's still missing. She said, I don't give a damn what, because they put out that Kelly Price was found, but it was no proof. It was no proof of that. And the sister is saying she's still missing. So I just pray she's okay. That falls upon the parents. That's what I say, Sasha. I agree with you. That's what I say. The parents play a tremendous deal in everything that your children do. The things that, let me tell y'all something. And I'm speaking from experience, okay? I'm speaking from when I tell you guys what I'm about to tell you, I'm speaking from somebody that has went through these situations. I had to get my phone. Oh, okay. When your child grow up seeing things that they shouldn't see, they emulate that. Like I said, they soak up stuff. So if your child grow up and all they see is hate and anger, that child grows up to be a hate and angry child. If your child grows up and your child they've been sexually molested and that's all they know, do y'all remember? And I'm pretty sure y'all seen this because the shit pissed me off when people were sharing it and somebody was saying, yeah, share it so we can stop. I said, how the fuck you gonna stop him? And the nigga ain't showing his face when they showed the guy that was molesting the baby and the baby was playing with him like she knew what she was doing. Like she knew because that's all this baby knew. Because this baby had been molested a long freaking time. So you know what's going to happen? She's going to grow up to be a predator. That's how it happens. If you don't protect, this is why I trust no one. Angel is 14 motherfucking years old. Do you understand me? I trust no one. No, you can't come to my house. No, you can't follow me home. No. You gotta keep that shit separate. So when your children act out a certain way and they do certain things, it is because of shit it is that they see. Them kids got a hold to all them guns because that's some shit they been seeing in their household and they been had access to. They been here and the parents knew that. They ass should be locked up right next to them. Why they asses wasn't in fucking handcuffs and they getting on camera talking about something? They're just babies. They're just no, bitch. You raised demons. You raised demons that was gonna go and shoot up a whole fucking school. It's what you put out. Let me tell you something. I never forget. Cause see, we don't play this shit. I don't play this shit around, this disrespectful shit. No, we don't do that. And I never forget, Angel had just got out the shower and she had them, them hoochie mama shorts, them, what you call them, Daisy Duke shorts and this and that. And she had a t-shirt on. And you know what my sons told her? They said, Angel, go put some clothes on. They said, Angel, go put something else on. And you know what Angel did? She got up off her ass and went and changed her clothes. You know why? Because they saw that as being disrespectful. They saw that as being disrespectful. And they didn't like it. I was on Tyra Banks' show where Tyra Banks can I order myself some food? Yeah. Angel, no. And Tyra Banks did a TV show and it talked about, parents mothers, parents that still walked around their children nude and naked and their they wasn't babies no more. These were their boys, their sons and daughters were like 15, 16, 17 years old. And Tyra Banks did a show on whether or not that was appropriate. So there was mothers that was on one side that said, "Do my children, I can walk around however I like and do." And then there was us. I was on the other side because I thought that was inappropriate. Anytime you get at a certain level, and I've raised 5 boys, so I know what get down. And if you been with a man, if you had a husband before, and I don't give a fuck what you say, how you say it, when you say it, even when you see little babies early in the morning, boom, that's what happens. Boing. And when they go through that puberty and stuff, they don't know where that comes from. They don't know what's going on with their bodies. A lot of them don't understand. So the last thing they need to see first thing in the morning is they naked ass mama coming out the shower into a room. It's just disrespectful. I think when your children gets a certain age, they should not be sleeping in the same bed with you. They should not you should not be undressing in front of them. It's just things. It is that you don't. My kids come in here all the time. We lay down and we watch TV and everything else. But when it's time to go to sleep, let me tell you what goes on. They leave and go to their room, or I'll leave. If they're in my bed and they're all out and they didn't pass out, I get up and I go get in their bed. It's just respect, because you got to remember what you put out there is what they gonna take in. And then they're gonna be, well, my mama did it with me. And then when you wondering why your son is with a little girl, and say, well, shoot, I said what they gonna think that's okay. When you wondering why your daughter is sleeping with some grown ass man and she just a minor, well, she gonna think that's okay. Well, shoot, I slept with my daddy. You know, people, you got to think, and people don't think. They don't think about what they do. They don't think about what it is that they say. That's why I had an issue when that broad was trying to put her minor daughter up against my grown ass daughter. You understand? When you got your minor daughter gyrating across Facebook and for money and stuff, but you had an issue when my grown daughter was doing it. See, my daughter's grown. If that's what it is that she wants to do, she's grown enough to handle that. Ain't no 5, 6, 7, 8 year old, 10 year old, 13, 14. If you under the age of 18, you ain't got no business doing nothing. Nothing where you shaking your ass and shaking your nothing doing that. Especially on a camera like this with all these fucking pedophiles and any and everything else that's on there. People got to get it together. They got to get it together. And if you don't train your children, make them understand what is right and what is wrong, they going to be just as fucked up as these parents. You know why? Because you got these grown ass adults that don't understand what is right and what is wrong. And that is why they still continue to do the same fucked up shit that they normally do, that they've been doing. That's what they do. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yep, they should be a guiding force. You right, Sasha. Yep, they should be a guiding force. And the only way we got to guide them, we have to guide them right. That's crazy. Nope. Angel's not. What did she say she didn't even see? Oh, $11.74. Next fit. Oh shoot, it's 15. I'm sorry, y'all. Angel trying to order food. She gonna tell me after she getting ready to order and she kicking it in, putting in. She give me a screenshot of and see. But I like that she had enough respect before she pushed that sin to ask mom. See how that goes? See how that goes? That's respect because she know what to do and what not to do. Well, good night. I have to go to bed. Girl, look, I'm just looking at the time. I've been on here an hour and a half. Me too, Sasha. I got to get up in the morning. I got to go to work myself tomorrow. So this was a great conversation. And I just think it needed to be had because I guess a lot of people just not thinking about what they put out there and what their children and friends and, and other folks is soaking in. And it plays an effect on relationships, friendships, workships, parenting ships. It plays a big part with that. Anyway, good night, Sasha. I love you. And I'm looking forward to see when you coming up here. We are going, let me let you guys know, get prepared, get your popcorn, get everything. We are going to Fright Fest October 7th. We're going to be out there from the 7th through the 10th. Me and my family. So I'm definitely going to go live. I'm going to be sharing some things with you guys. And I hope y'all be around to see it. I love you too, Sasha. I love you too, babe. You know we love you for life. Me and the kids and everybody. We love you. I can't wait till you come out here. Ooh, you talking about a party with my sister. A party. We going to be partying it up. I can't wait. All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed night. Ta-ta for now.